moves down, pelvic floor. So Matt, you have the blessings of being a gentleman. For girls, we have the funny things of all kinds of things happening after menopause, that there's too much give on the pelvic floor, especially if there's been childbirth, that the belly sits right down here. And if we are not bringing it up, that's what we're going to do in our first thing when we do our belly breathing. We got to get them moving together, up and down together. So now let's come onto our back and begin to ponder that little event. The diaphragm is one of the most important part of your core groups. And we don't think, the pelvic diaphragm, we don't think of that as core. But if that is weak and we strain, there is no support from below that brings up. And then we have low back pain. So now as you come to lay on your back, stretch the legs out first. So have the legs stretch all the way out. And notice where you are on your sacrum. Are you touching down towards the belly button? Not belly button, towards the tip so that the belly is lifted? Or are you at the top of the sacrum and it feels like the tailbone lifts up towards the sky? As you bend up your knees, bending up your knees, and as always, do put a blanket under your head if your chin is pulling away from the chest, just so there is no strain or congestion in the back of the neck. Bending up the knees, did you find that you came more to the middle of the sacrum and maybe a little less space behind the low back? With the hands on the lower belly, we begin to settle into the belly breath. As we inhale, the belly expands, and exhale, belly softens. Breathing in, belly expands, and breathing out, belly relaxes down. But move your awareness down lower yet. So as you breathe in, can you sense a give in the pelvic floor, the bottom of the basket? And as you breathe out, can you sense the bottom of the basket moving upward? So that your, again, breathing diaphragm and your pelvic diaphragm, they move in unison together. As you inhale, next time we'll arch the low back, so belly expands. As you exhale, come back to neutral. Draw the pelvic floor up. It's a sense of retracting the tailbone. And then inhale, arch again. And exhale, floating back to neutral, but draw the tailbone up as you come to neutral. So a little bit more conscious engaging of the pelvic floor. The pelvic floor, we have 3 layers of muscle, and like any muscles in our body, when they're used and exercised, they stay strong and supple. But if they are ignored over time, they become weak and atrophy. So we have the issues of the pelvic floor. Prolapse of the organs is one of them. And that's very unpleasant. So as you exhale, tailbone draws up. Pelvic floor lifts up. So we can build on that as we now begin to add the flatten. So let's take a breath in. And as you exhale, Flatten the low back, hollow the belly in and up, and then pull the pelvic floor up. This is a strong core system. As you inhale, slowly release back to neutral. And just take a buffer breath here. I'm going to change the angle of the camera. I realize you're only seeing half of my blanket. Take a breath in for nothing. And then exhale again, hollow out the belly, draw the pelvic floor up. In yoga, this would be Mula Bandha and Uddiyana Bandha, the pelvic floor lift and the lower abdominal lock. Both used to create stability, bringing the organs upward rather than collapsing downward. Let's do that one more time. Breath in for nothing. Exhale. Draw the pelvic floor up, abdomen in and up. So we have two actions. We slowly release. Now let's take a breath out for nothing. And then inhale, let's begin to add the arch. Arching, the pelvic floor softens, belly expands. Exhale, return to neutral. Buffer breath in. And exhale, flatten. Draw the pelvic floor up. If you like the cue of retracting the antenna, I say go for it. And slowly release. Buffer breath out again. And on the next in-breath, we arch. So with the muscles that we are contracting and then releasing, we are moving the skeleton. Our skeleton, it doesn't move without these rubber bands. Let's do it one more time, flattening. And returning to neutral. And now we'll take the arms out to the sides and slide the legs long. Sliding the arms up as high as is comfortable, where they can still rest comfortably on the floor. So when we slide them up, maybe you are at 10 or 11 with your right arm and 1:30, 2 o'clock the left. It's wherever they can rest completely released. As you inhale, let's press out through the right heel and take the right hip along with us. And slowly release back to neutral. Inhale, let's go to the other side. Slide the left leg down. And take the hip along with you. So often, sometimes we start just with the heel. Today, the whole bit. Slide the right heel out again. Right hip slides down. Releasing back. Again. We're going to add the right hand to the right heel. So right heel slides out, right hand reaches out. And let go. Other side. So here we're putting a little length on the psoas. Releasing back to neutral. As you inhale, reach. As you exhale, slink back to neutral. And then add as you reach out through the right heel and hand. Pull the left ribs and hips towards one another. Same on the other side. As you reach out through the left heel and hand, pull the right hip and ribs towards one another. Make it easy, don't work too hard. Or don't work too little either. We'll finish on the left side. And then from here, I'm going to slide the hands right under the head and bend the knees up again for the arch and curl. The front seam attaches to the pubic symposium. I think that's a funny name. It's like there is a whole orchestra down there. So that is where the pelvis come together on the front. From there, it draws all the way up to the sternum, the breastbone. So if this is tight, your pelvis is being pulled forward. So just flatten your low back a little bit. And you can feel how it shortens your front seam. So let's get the whole front with the arch and curl. Inhale, let's arch. Exhale, flatten the back, draw the elbows in and curl up. And then inhale slowly, release the head down. Relift the elbows with shoulders. Let me count to 8 as we come down. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Let everything pull, elbows all the way down. Let's take a buffer breath. Inhale, arch. Exhale, flattening, draw the pelvic floor up, abdomen in and up, elbows comes in and together we curl up. Now we're going to do it in parts. You'll inhale a third down. Keep the back pressing down and then lift up another ½ inch or so. And then inhale, come down 2/3. And exhale, let's come up again a little bit. And then we come down almost all the way. Keep the back pressing down. We come up again one more time. Draw the ribs towards the hips. And then come all the way down with the head. Keep the elbows hugging in. Give them shoulders a little lift. And then we take them out again. Count to 8. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Everything pulls. Take a big breath in and out. Letting everything relax. That was not the wrong day. I was like, no. But we started the same, except we added the arch and curl. We haven't had that in a while. We are now doing our hip flexion. We haven't done that in a long while. So hip flexion, put your hands down in your front groin. And then draw your right knee in and you feel stringiness right in the front groin. This is once it gets stuck. When we sit down a lot, slowly release your right foot back towards the mat. Once the foot is down, everything pulls. Did you feel the stringiness relax? We're going to do that again. Draw the right leg in. Now with your left hand on the front of your left hip, notice if that tries to participate. Now slowly release your right foot back down again. And once the foot comes down to the floor, touches down very gently, now slide the right leg out. And we're going to put the hip flexors into the full length. And then slide the right leg up. Draw the knee in towards the chest, just going back and forth. Lower the foot down. Slowly. Always move slower than you think you can. Once the foot is down, slide the leg all the way out. Reaching it out as long as you can. Sliding it back up. Draw the knee in. Slide out, releasing the foot down this time. As you slide it all the way out. Once the leg is completely straight, draw the low back down and then lift the leg up a few inches from the floor. Slowly release, slowly release. We'll do that again. Slide the right foot in. Knee pulls. So the hip flexors are just two muscles. Your quadriceps, which are combined with your psoas along your forearm, basically. Slide the leg out. Once the leg is straight, press the leg down, press the low back down, lift the leg a few inches up, and then slowly release the leg down. Now let's release the left knee down to the side and slide the leg out. Pause, breathing into the right side, breathing into the left side. Feel the breath in your lower abdomen. Feel your right leg and hip resting on the mat compared to the left. Let's bend both knees up. And we started just by drawing the knee in. And you can place again your hands in the front groin. What contracts? Releasing the knee down. Keep the back in the same position. But slowly release the foot down. Everything pulls. And then again, draw the knee in. Slowly release back down. Feel the hip flexors right in the front of the groin, all stringy business. Foot comes down. Everything relaxes. We'll do it one more time. Draw the knee in, low back pulls down so the muscles are engaging the upper part. And this time we are ready to take it out long. Keep the low back flat as you land the foot and slide the foot out all the way. Not lifting, it's getting all long. Slide the foot back up. Pull the knee in. And then slowly release the foot back down onto the mat. And slide the leg out long. So that was the second one. We did 2 of these. So slide the leg out long. Draw the leg back in again. So we're retraining, and the slower you move, the more motor cortex in the brain gets a chance to study the movement and create the most efficient and healthiest movement patterns. We're going to slide the heel all the way out again, slide it out long. So left leg is long. Once it's long, draw the back down. Now lift the left leg up several inches. And slowly lower the leg back down. Sliding it up. One more time. Pull the knee into the chest. Sliding it out. Long, long, long. Draw the back down, lift the leg. And slowly release. Let's slide the right leg out and pause. Take a little interlude and notice your body resting on the mat compared to when we started. And then from here, bending up the knees. Again, we're going to roll over to the right side, rolling onto your right side. We're going to chat with the hip flexors. So we know this one well. You can place your left hand right on your waist. So I'm onto my side, I'm in my 90-90. Knees 90 degrees and hips 90 degrees, like you're sitting in a very tall upright chair, gaze straight ahead. With a hand on the left hip, let's take a breath in for nothing. As you exhale, lift your left foot towards the sky. Feel the hand, your muscle under the hands engaging. So just a straight side curl. Slowly release down. Everything pulls. So last week we also did the iliotibia. Also from hips to below the knee. Let's take a breath in for nothing again. And as you exhale, lift the foot. Lift the foot. And slowly lower down. Buffer breath. Breath in for nothing. And we repeat. Lifting. Closing the gap between the hips and the ribs so we know the lower obliques are helping out. They don't always like to fire. And then we walk like John Wayne. I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but it's a little bit of a bad thing. As you come down, let's take a buffer breath. Now just relax the hand, but take the legs out long and slide your left leg down. So we're going to work with the gluteus medius and gluteus minimus now. Those are funny groups. So the gluteus maximus which we're going to work more with it on the back. But keeping yourself right up on the right, on your right hip. And just draw your top leg straight back. Draw the top leg straight back. And that is gluteus maximus that has to create that action. Just saw a gentleman this afternoon whose glute has stopped working. So there was no hip extension. Draw the leg straight back without coming into a back bend. So right now we're not working against gravity. And notice how easy it is to just bring the whole trunk forward. I just want the legs going back. Let's do it one more time because it is such a good move. And we'll take it back and then relax. This is hard work for the legs, I know. Gluteus medius, sneaky little booger. Stability of the thigh bone in the socket, but it gets really lazy. So if you lift the leg straight up, so not back, straight up, take your hand to your outer glute. I didn't say it before, your big glute. You can just move your leg back a little bit and you'll feel the big glute fire, I hope. But for gluteus medius, it's more to the outside. If you lift the leg up a wee bit, you get a little bit more action. Let's slowly lower the leg down. So stabilization of the thigh, lifting again. Straight up, and I'm lifting about a foot, foot and a half maybe. There is a little bit of something there, and we slowly lower down. When this muscle is tight and weak, or long and weak, we lose our hip stability. Let's do it again. So here we are strengthening and releasing simultaneously. We're going to talk a lot more about this one in yoga also this week. Pesky little booger. Let the foot come down and let everything pull. That's a lot of work for the hip. But now let's get to the little one. It's like the three bears in Goldilocks. For the gluteus medius, it is an internal rotator. So with the foot, the inner edge of the foot on the mat, lift just the heel up, lift the heel up, and then lower the heel back down. Can you tell? The hips are staying, the pelvis is staying completely still. You're lifting the heel and lower the heel down. So this muscle sits very deep. And as its name indicates, it's the smallest one of the three. Lifting the heel, what is firing? Now lift the leg up. And then lower the leg again. So we just put a little bit of gravity on the gravy train. Lower the heel back down. Start by lifting the heel. Notice the firing. And then if available, lift the leg a little bit higher. Lower down. Lower the heel. Buffer breath. I'll do that one more time. Lift the heel. Lift the leg. Slowly lower down. Lower the heel. And come onto your back. And pause. Notice your cheeks, the lower cheeks as you straighten out the legs. So just sliding the legs out. Does one cheek lay just a little flatter than the other? We don't notice that we are clenching until we release. So let's roll on to the other side. I'm going to spin around so I can keep watch. So we started with the side curl. With the obliques. I'm using my right hand in my waist. My legs are 90-90. We'll take a breath in for nothing. And then exhale, lift your right heel straight up. And slowly lower it down. Buffer breath. And again, breath in for nothing. Exhale, lift the heel. Now, is anything else firing along? That's what I said in the email today, that the muscles of the whole body is really an ensemble cast. It is not just one muscle, do this, don't do that. But when one muscle group, move at your own pace, breath in for nothing, and then lifting. Steps out, the other ones will help out. They'll try to take care of it, but they can't. So we have pain. That's our body telling us something is overworked. Something is stuck. Buffer breath. We'll do it one more time. So this one is old hat. Don't worry, next week we're going to do the bottom part. I just wanted to talk with the inner obliques today because guess what? They're attached to the pelvis. And if they're tight, everything is yanked out where it doesn't need to be. We took the legs down and we straightened the top leg. And then we just played a little bit with gluteus medius. And you can put a hand on your derriere. It's okay. So you can feel the muscle contracting. Are you engaging your buns to pull the leg back? So my leg is moved behind me and I am just checking with my right hand on my glute that yes, indeed, it fires. It's going back. So that's going really well. Let's relax the leg down. Getting a little bit of an IT band lengthening here too. That's a good thing. So gluteus maximus, take the leg into extension, meaning behind the line of the body. Walking, we need this. Gluteus medius, stabilizer. So here we lifted the leg up. Feel it's a different muscle now, not going back. Go a little bit higher. And then slowly, slowly, slowly release the leg down. How do you know this one is weak? In yoga, if tree pose is really challenging to keep the hip lifted, gluteus medius, he is not so excited. Let's lift again. And slowly, slowly, slowly releasing down. Buffer breath. Again, this time, no, we'll do one more. See, I can't talk and count at the same time. It's terrible. Because we're ready to have a chat with gluteus minimus, the little one. So now again, notice where you're touching as you lift just the heel, and lower back down. Lift the heel again. What fires? And this is the deepest of the three. What fires? Lift the heel again. This time, if it's available, lift the leg. So now both the minimus in particular. You're going to have a little bit of medius too. Lowering down. Let everything pull. And again, lift the heel. Maybe the foot. Slowly lowering down. This is our walk up the stairs muscle. And releasing down to maintain stability. All right, there's no way around it. We are going to have a visit with the big gun. So let's come on to the belly. Rolling all the way onto the belly. Let your forehead just rest on the back of your hands. You can turn your head if that feels better. Draw the hips down onto the mat. And let's bend the right leg up. So the foot is right over the knee. Foot is right over the knee. So last week we took care of the hamstrings. We played a little bit with the glutes, but tonight they are mainly the star player. Lift the right knee up. So now we are back in extension, working against gravity. And then slowly lower the leg, the knee back down. And straightening the leg out super slow, super slow. Probably more than one breath to get that foot all the way down. So the hamstring also connects to the pelvis. It's the sits bones, but below the knee, so together. It's a big old mess. So we'll bend the knee up again. We'll do it one more time. And then lift the knee up. Foot towards the sky. Slowly release the knee back down so it is in hip extension. And we straighten the right leg out. As you come closer to the ground, you're going to feel this more towards the lower end of the hamstring towards the knee, the lower attachment. There. And just let your legs relax. Notice right side, left side. We should do the other side. We'll bend up the left knee. Bend up the left knee. Draw the hips towards the floor. And then lift the left knee up. Hips are pulling down, but the knee is going up. Slowly release the knee down. And equally slow, let the leg straighten out. When the hamstrings are tight, and they get tight too when we sit down a lot, especially if we sit behind the sits bone, we sort of roll onto the back. So they pull the spine down. There's the low back pain there. Let's take a full breath in and out. And we'll bend it up again. Draw the hips towards the floor and lift the left knee. It's not going to go up very high, I know. An inch. There we go. And then slowly, or not at all, that is a possibility. Slowly lower down. Glute releases. And then slowly straighten out the leg. Slowly, slowly, slowly. Everything pulls. And then without a lot of fuss, find your way onto your back again. Let's find the way onto the back. And one of my favorite, and we'll work our way into it, is the falling tree, which is both internal and external rotation of the hips. So initially, we really want to keep the pelvis relatively still. So placing the hands on your lower hips. And just release your right knee towards the right side. And lift the knee back up again. So always ride that space between release and stretch. You don't want to go into the stretch. There's force. Stay on the side of release. Lifting up 2-3 inches and releasing back down. Without the pelvis doing a lot of tipping. So steady pelvis, just keep exploring, lowering the knee down to the side and lifting up. The knee goes down, it releases. And in that little lift, what is engaging? The next time you lower the knee down, just slide the leg all the way up, sliding the leg out. Let's slide the left leg out. Pause. The adductors, adductors, inner groins. So notice your inner groins right to left, and this is subtle. Does one side seem a little deeper? Let's bend the knees up again, balance it out, left side. And if it's helpful, again, place the hands on your pelvis points where we started holding out, just so when we lower the knee down, that we can maintain, we know that we are not moving the pelvis, that we really are moving the thigh bone. So all these muscles. Connects to the thigh bone, to the pelvis. They have this very mysterious name. Sounds like a James Bond event, the Deep Six. So we have a group, a half a dozen muscles, and this lies really deep in the pelvis. That's part of our, external rotation. Does the left side move like the right did? Making it easy and gentle. Gentle effort. No strain. When we strain, force, or push, we get the body more on the defensive, sorry. Can you tell I'm not a football player? It starts to lock down. It starts to tense up because it's not exactly sure if it's safe. So we want to ride that side of ease. All right, one more time. And once it's down, just slide it all the way out, super slow. Let the right slide out with it. I hope they feel more even. Internal rotation. We're going to bend the knees up again. Walk your left foot to the left side of the mat and walk the right out. So we need to get the left foot out of the way. You might want to take the right up, actually even further out. Now pivoting on the heel, lower the right knee down towards the left heel of the left foot and inhaling up. So we're doing the same thing, but now the opposite side. So the knee goes down towards the middle line, down towards the left foot, and then lifts back up again. So internal rotation. Releasing down, lifting up. And only lift up, 2, maybe 3 inches, just enough to get the muscles to fire again. Then we lower back down. And then lifting all the way up. Now we're going to take this to the other side. So walk the left foot maybe just a smidgen further out and lower the knee down and lifting up. Same thing as with the external rotation. Keep your pelvis relatively still in this one here. So we are isolating it to our thigh bone moving in the socket. The body is a helpful place. It says if you don't have the mobility of this, we'll just find it someplace else in the back. Or maybe we'll torque the knee. Don't do that. Don't do that. So pivoting on the heel. Don't keep the foot flat on the ground. And then as you lift up, keeping it up, we're going to walk the feet back in and slide the legs out once more. Now we are ready for the grand finale, which is the falling tree. Let's take the arms out to the sides, palms facing up. With the legs straight, side by side. First, roll the right leg in from the thigh bone. Last week we rolled from the foot. Now roll the whole leg out and slide it up. Don't come all the way up, slide it back out. I'm going to make this easy. Roll the leg back in, rolling it out. Slide the leg up a little higher so the knee is out to the side. We slide it back out. Roll the leg in. So this is a hip movement. The foot is just along for the ride. One more time. Foot rolls in, rolls out, and then drag the leg up. This time, as you come as high as you can, dip the knee across your left leg, rolling the hip. And come back. Knee goes out to the side. We slide it long. Roll the foot in, leg in, leg out. Rolling, coming all the way up and dip across. So now the low back participates. But wait, there's more. As you roll the leg, let the nose begin to be opposite of the knee. So as you dip the knee all the way across, nose goes to the right. And then the knee goes out to the side, nose goes left, sliding it along. So we make it a full body experience. Knee opposite of nose. Well, you could say toes, I suppose. Let's move in an easy, unencumbered way. Do it one more time. Easy and unencumbered. And then when you slide out, let's pause here. Let the motor cortex just map it out. Right side disappeared, left side is still here. So let's begin. Roll the left leg in, rolling it out. And roll it in again. Rolling it out, give it a little slide up, but don't be greedy. We build a little at a time. If we move too fast, we can't discern where we may have a cog stuck. So move little and learn. How does this side feel compared to your right side? Once you deem that the foot about 3 or 4 times of sliding up. So that's the hip flexion again, but with external rotation. So you begin to dip across. Rolling it back out. Dipping across. Super easy. Let the head begin to join in opposite of the knee. And it has become the entire body, but the hips, the pelvis is the center of it all. Forgetting the upper and the lower limbs to communicate. Do it one more time. As you come down, just pause. Pausing. Noticing. Draw the legs together. Draw the arms up and interlace the fingers. Press the palms towards the sky. Consolidate the legs, tailbone lengthens towards the heels as we draw the arms over. Everything hugs towards the midline and then spreads long. And hand and foot direction. We'll take the arms up. Switch the interlace of the fingers. Press the palms again, elbows straight. And reach long. Again, consolidate towards the center. And become long. And take the arms up one more time. Relax the arms. And we will pull for the next few minutes. So be comfortable. Supporting what needs supported. And if you prefer to bend up your knees, by all means, bend up your knees. Be comfortable. Breathing in and breathing out. Allow your breath to begin to deepen. Wiggling fingers and toes. Bend up the knees. Rock the knees from side to side. Eventually find your way over onto your right or left side. Support your head with an arm. Or blanket or pillow. It's important to move slow after somatics work. The longer you rest, the longer you chill, the longer time your body has to incorporate this new information. If you'd like to stay here for a bit longer, you're certainly welcome to do that as we prepare to close out the class. I was just thinking how much has happened since last Monday. It's been a week in so many ways, and yet here we are. It's so good to see everybody. Steadiness, constance. It is good. Let's close with one Om. Take a deep breath in. Namaste.